Hey everyone, it's my birthday today. I'm 47 years old. I'm still on YouTube content creating, putting out videos, trying to help businesses and people and just the general public do a little bit more with their websites, WordPress Elementor, your business and your clients and stuff like that. I'm still here. I'm still surviving. I'm still trying to do as much as I can for my son. But when you hit 47 and now you feel like you're closer to 50 years old, you start to ask a few more questions of yourself in terms of where you are, what you've achieved in life, and where you want to go from here. Now, I'm not just going to reflect in this video from 46 years old to 47, but I really want to think a lot more about going forwards. Now, don't worry, I haven't got any major health concerns or anything I need to worry about. I had a brain tumor removed 26 years ago. I had a heart attack 5 years ago. I had my gallbladder out about 11 years ago. So I've been, prodded and probed and needles put inside of me. Oh, yeah, I had a tooth extracted a week and a half ago, and it's recovered pretty well. However, whenever I have a cold drink, and you know what my favorite cold drink is, I can really feel a little bit of sensitivity. So I may need to speak to the dentist about this later on. But what I wanted to just talk to you about is how when I hit 47, I need to think more long term beyond. A lot of you know how much I put into my work and creating solutions, being innovative, and helping to teach and explain things to people, and how much I love it when I make a difference. Anyone who's watching who's known me since I was a kid, I probably was a little bit loud and expressive and hyperactive. I think I have got ADHD or some form of it. I wouldn't say I was disruptive, but I was kind of like nattering away, always chatting, always having a laugh. I might have been a bit of a classroom clown as well. And I think I carry that with me when I went into primary, secondary school, college, university, and even when I was working in the NHS. I hate it when you go somewhere and everyone is dull, quiet, lack of communication, lack of engagement. You just feel like you're there to just waste your life away. I hate that, especially in an office environment. And no matter how hard you're working, everyone's up for a bit of a laugh, just a bit of banter. Just make it feel like you're worth your presence in the office. But as I've got older, I've maintained that. But when I do the YouTube side of things with the learning, other than the live chats, for those of you that join the live chat, you know that I really let loose F bombs, whatever I want to say, shit this, shit that. I am very open, very frank, very just normal. When I do the tutorial videos, I do hold it a little bit back because anyone in the world could be watching. But going forwards, I just feel like I want to do more for my son. And I have mentioned things now and again, and people might have read things that I might have written in the odd comment here or there, and they don't fully understand that life is not perfect. Okay. I know I am not the perfect son. I am not the perfect cousin, the perfect nephew, the perfect husband. I'm not perfect in any way. I'm not even got a perfect business, or I'm not the best YouTube content creator. I don't have any Guinness World Records to shout about. But I like to think that what I've achieved and what I've done whenever I have faced some struggle or a problem, I've overcome them. And I've always found a way to succeed. And when I say a way to succeed, that might sound very vain and very like blowing your own trumpet. But whenever things come up against me or knock me down or have like made me feel like rock bottom, and will I admit that there have been times when I have just felt like giving up on everything? I have. I felt that when I knew I was going to have a brain examination, a neuro examination. At that time, they didn't know it was a brain tumor, but that's how I felt. I felt like, what is the point? My whole life's going to change now. I don't know how I'm going to come out of it. When I had my heart attack, when the paramedics came and they were taking me away and they told me you're having a heart attack, I literally thought this is probably the last time I'm going to see my son. He, unfortunately, he was 5 years old and I don't think he really understood what was going on. So he was like, yeah, bye, dad, kind of thing. And I remember in the ambulance, I was like, this could be it. So am I happy with what I've done? Now, people always say, YOLO, you only live once. You can't predict tomorrow, live for today. I don't fully, completely agree with that. I believe in living for the day, but I would like to live for tomorrow and beyond. I like to think I'm setting things up for my son in terms of his finances, things I'm doing creatively, investments and things. I want to know that if something happens to me today, tomorrow, next week, next year, he's going to be okay. And I don't just mean him, my wife, my life, my family, my house, my cats, all of that. I want everything to be good. I don't want him to ever feel like he's got to rely upon anyone. And I know there's going to be family members watching. I know there's going to be people related to us, connected to us who'll say, don't worry, we'll be there. But everyone says that. And you can't be there for everyone all the time. Sometimes we have to be able to stand up on our own 2 feet. And I hope he does, but I'm not expecting anything of him. The life a lot of us had. I mean, I'm 47 now, but if you go back to when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old or whatever, and even going into college and university, there were expectations placed upon us in terms of education, careers, jobs, what you're going to do, when you're going to get married, how many kids you're going to have, where you're going to live, what you're going to do to support yourself and your family and your extended family and their extended family and people you've never heard of and weddings and funerals and get-togethers, and you got to show your face everywhere. There was always expectation. I have always steered away from that. And that's what I mean by I'm not the best family connected person. But when I look at what I've been able to do in the time that I have saved by being everywhere for me and our family, I feel like that I am very proud of. And I feel like that is a life lesson I'm going to pass on to my son, that you can't always rely upon anyone. Your best friend today won't be your best friend tomorrow. The job you have now won't last forever. The website you're building might blow up in your face. The businesses that you're investing in could go bankrupt or liquidated. The person you always speak to might not be here for you tomorrow. Things change. Your car could break down. Your cats could pass away. My two cats that I loved immensely, Storm and Strider, they passed away 2 and nearly 3 years ago now. And that was a big gap in our life because I love them to bits. We've got two new cats and I love them just as much. But there's always changes that happen. Sometimes you're expected, you can see it coming, it's hurtling towards you. Or there are some that happen, just like that. And you often go, why me? Why us? Why did this have to happen now? I am doing everything I can for my son. That's literally why I work. It's literally why you see me putting out videos. Not because I'm making money off those videos. Anyone that thinks when you're on YouTube, you're going to make loads of mint, not unless you're one of these big players where they have thousands, hundreds, millions of views, right? Then you will. It's not about your subscribers, it's about how many views you get. That's really important. And I'm not rolling in websites, falling out the sky, building for people. I'm not being hired all the time. But anything little I can do now, anything I can sacrifice that I would love to do, that I can do for him, is what is most important for me. And that is how I'm going forward. I'm still going to keep doing what I do, but all I think about is that he's going to be okay. And I hope that people appreciate what I do because maybe you don't watch my YouTube videos, but I would like to think that anytime we do share, when we are sat together, or we're stood in a corner, or we're sharing a Pepsi Max or a lamb biryani. I do feel like a lamb biryani. Maybe tonight. We are going to go to an Indian restaurant tonight for a birthday meal. Me, my wife, and my son. Um, I just hope my son eats. It's so annoying when he says, I want X, Y, Z, and then you get it, and then he only touches like 10% of what's on the plate. Better eat. But I've completely forgot what I was talking about now. How did we get from that to the lamb biryani to the bit? Yeah. So I hope the time we spend, and when we do, if I see you for an hour, half an hour, it's worth it. Not just for me, because I have to feel like it's worth my time. Because if I'm just sat there and we're not talking, we're not engaging, then why am I there? I might as well be somewhere else. but I hope the time we spend, whether it's the videos, whether it's going out and about, whether it's the cinema, whether it's listening to music or whatever, it is worth it for both of us. And you value it because I know I will value it. If I know you're valuing it, I value it even more. And that ethos is what I take with me throughout my life. And I mean this, not just if I'm watching Netflix, not just if I'm eating, not just if we're meeting up, just anything we do in life. I like to think that if I get something out of it, I feel like I can take that experience and learn from it. Because I always feel like every day you're learning, every day you're engaging. And if we're ever doing something where we're just like that, like we're not even really making any contact with one another, then you need to be around people where you feel engaged. And I need to be around people where I feel engaged. And sometimes you don't have to be around people. That is a misconception, okay? You can, or misperception, or misconception, or misfertilization, whatever you want to say. You don't have to be around people to feel engaged. I can be watching a movie or a TV show and I'm engaged. I could be reading a book. I could be reading a guide. I could be learning. I could be watching a YouTube video that someone else has done. I could be, walking past a shop. I could be like looking at how many carbs and proteins and fats and calories there are in this sandwich. Not that I eat sandwiches that much, but I could look at it. I'm engaged. I'm learning. And if I gain something when I learn that improves me, that hopefully helps me to live longer, maybe increase my wealth, maybe be healthier, just be a better person, then the outcome of that will impact my son. But if I hang around people or talk to people who engage or watch or listen or do anything that actually detracts from happiness, that makes me angry, irritated, like scornful, and then all I do is troll people and sling mud and throw shit and all that, that kind of thing is not going to make me improve or evolve. What it will do is make me draw into a shadowy corner where people just sneer at everyone and, backbite and point fingers. I don't want to be around anything that puts me into that corner. I want to evolve because when I evolve, I'm helping my son evolve. I'm Imran from Web Squadron. It's my birthday. I'm 47 years old. I probably just gave a lecturing spiel dissertation about nothing, but I hope it meant something to you. See you soon. Take care. Bye.